Well, it's a clash of the seasons across the country. Some areas feeling like spring, not so much in the mountains. We've got some pretty big snows going across the west. That'll start to settle down some as we head into Wednesday, and then we'll see the potential for some severe weather across the central United States. A lot to talk about in the video today, guys. I'll try to hurry through it as quick as I can. Thanks for checking the video out. My name is Travis Roberts. If you're new here to the channel, thanks for stopping by. These weather videos have only been coming out now for about 2 months, and so far we've just passed 4,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much, and if you've not subscribed, come on, subscribe below. I'm going to keep you updated as we head into the spring and summer. We've got severe weather, hurricane season. Weather doesn't end at winter, and I'll tell you what, some of the biggest snowstorms that I've forecasted in my professional career has been during March. Those have been the big surprises. Will you see one where you are? I don't know, but if one's headed your way, we'll be watching it together. I hope you subscribe and can be part of the community. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what things are looking like in your world. I always love hearing from you, and let's just go right to the maps tonight. We've got severe weather again possible. This will be Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. I think the highlighted areas would be right here in the parts of Missouri, Illinois, even back to northern Arkansas, Kansas, Oklahoma. Low pressure will start to move out toward the Central Plains states. Out ahead of it, some warm air moves up from the Gulf. So again, a few strong storms possible here. Across the west, rain and snow showers here. And you know what we're not seeing is this cold air up here moving south. It's really staying locked up here. Now we will get a glancing blow. Here it comes for this weekend across the eastern United States, and then maybe another one heading into next week, but it's not going to last. And I think something impressive to watch will be this cold right here that's moving into the Pacific Northwest into early next week. That could bring snow levels way down. So let's go through the week together. Here we are on Wednesday. High pressure across the East Coast, keeping things quiet again. Seasonably cold across the Northeast, though we've seen temperatures here chilly. We will start to warm up, though, over the next couple of days, and we have continued to warm up here across the Central Plains states all the way into the Deep South. Here's our storm across the west. That will start to move out into the Central Plains as we move into the evening hours, and then low pressure really starts to develop here across Kansas, Missouri, and moving almost due east across Illinois, Indiana, and then into parts of Ohio as we head into Thursday evening. That's going to bring some heavy rain to these areas. Some thunderstorms, I think, are going to be possible with this. It doesn't look like a super severe weather event. Again, the strongest storms will be here across parts of Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, even parts of Illinois through tomorrow night into early Thursday morning. But then we'll have to keep an eye on this as it moves off to the east. Now, there is some cold air across the northeast. That's going to potentially cause some snow, mostly into northern New England. We're looking at all rain here from pretty much Ohio, Michigan, south, all the way into the deep south, into Virginia, the Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama, and then into Tennessee and Kentucky too. Not a lot of cold air behind this, although it will get cooler. You'll feel that. And then the snow, again, really confined here to northern parts of New England, and then a reinforcing shot of some chilly air moving in just in time for the weekend here. You know, this is interesting. The last couple of model runs have been picking up a bit of a piece of energy here swinging through the Appalachians. That could bring a little bit of accumulating snow for the higher elevations into Saturday night to early Sunday morning. Again, that severe weather risk right in this area. Storm Prediction Center highlighting this area as we head into Wednesday. And then take a look at the snow across New England. A couple of inches possible here from upstate New York all the way into the mountains of Vermont, New Hampshire. I'll tell you, into parts of Maine, some places could see 5, 6, 7 inches, especially at the higher elevations. A good coating of snow for these areas. Further south, though, too warm for that here along southern New England with just rain falling in these areas. And that weak system that moves through the Appalachians here across the mountains of West Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee. We could see a little bit of snow, an inch or two in the highest of elevations. Most areas just being traced to up to an inch. Now, outside of these areas, really not a lot of winter weather except for what's going on right now across the west. That heavy snow starting to settle down Thursday into Friday. We do quiet down some. This will be a look at your 24-hour maximum temperatures during this time frame. That is above here. So heading into Wednesday, we've got 40s and 50s here into the mid-Atlantic. Chilly across the northeast, though, still highs only near 40 for places like Hartford up into Albany, 30s across northern New England, even some 20s into Maine. But look at the 60s and 70s pushing into the south. That's starting to move north, so now we're pushing into the 50s for places like Columbus, Indianapolis, Chicago. We're in the 50s. As we head into Thursday, another warm day across the south, 50s and 60s, now pushing north toward Charleston, West Virginia, over toward D.C. Charlotte, you're in the 60s, and even back towards Des Moines, almost 60 degrees here. And then as we move toward the weekend, a bit of a cool down on the way. We'll see more clouds here heading into Friday, so that means a little more rain. And here comes that shot of cold air for the weekend. So high Saturday, clearly much colder here, 20s and 30s from pretty much Wisconsin, Michigan, New York, all across northern New England. And then highs on Sunday will struggle really to get out of the 20s and teens here across northern New England. 40s and 30s here from the mid-Atlantic south. Even the Carolinas will likely be in the upper 40s to 50s. But the warm air, look at this building back to the south and west. This is headed your way. So once this cold shot moves out, look at that warm air advecting to the north and east as we head into Monday and Tuesday of next week. So highs Tuesday could be pushing, dare I say, 70 in Chicago, close to 70 in Green Bay by next Tuesday. These are model temperatures. In my experience, they try to overdo things, but the fact that we're talking about this is very impressive. Even parts of New England, we start to warm up. New York City should be back close to 60 as we get towards, say, Wednesday. Boston, even up to Portland, Maine, in the upper 50s to low 60s. We'll even start to see some melting here across northern New England as we warm well above freezing into the upper 40s and 50s. Even into the higher elevations here. Another shot of cold air, though, does try to skip through late next week. Still too early on that, but we'll keep an eye on it. And I'll tell you one place that's going to get hot across West Texas. I don't know if we really get into the 90s, but definitely into the 80s. And then we see warm weather all across the Central Plains. We'll even start to warm up here across the Intermountain West into the 40s and 50s. Some of the higher elevations, of course, obviously chillier, but here comes that cold for the Pacific Northwest early next week, dropping those temperatures quite significantly pretty much everywhere here across the Pacific Northwest. So by Wednesday, we're looking at chilly weather here, but the warmth continues from the Central Plains east. Now let's look a little bit further down the road as far as the precipitation goes. So this would be Saturday, a wide view of North America, because I do want to show you kind of where the cold area is. It's really up in here. We're not seeing a big dive to the south with a trough digging in, but we do see something happening here. Look at this across the west coast. A pretty big trough starting to dig in here to the Pacific Northwest. That's going to bring some snow here. I think it could even get down to sea level, places like Seattle. I don't know that you're out of the question of seeing some snow next week. Those snow levels could drop all the way down into the lower elevations in the valleys through Monday and Tuesday. Another system moves through the northeast. It's going to bring us some more rain heading into Monday and Tuesday, and even some snow across northern New England before our big warm up. And then that trough digs in here across the west, pushing more snow across the Rockies. And look at this. This could be a pretty big storm that gets spinning up toward the middle part of next week. You know, if you look at the potential for some severe weather, I think next week we'll have to keep an eye on things as this trough moves through. I would argue this is almost slightly negatively tilted. Would you see severe weather out ahead of this? That's something clearly we have time to iron out, and that's something that in a time period that I'll be watching heading into next week. But this is going to be one heck of a storm moving up into Canada straight toward the Hudson Bay. It's going to drop a lot of snow back here from Saskatchewan east all the way up into the Hudson Bay, and then again severe weather possible here across the United States. Look at that, a very clearly defined cold front, and the GFS tries to push that all the way to the Gulf Coast. So that will be a time period to watch, and it feels like we're in a pattern that just won't break. A front moves through and then this weird clipper comes behind it. I don't know what's up with that. We've seen that for the last couple of days, and we may see it again. Now, as we head into March, clearly we're going to warm up. I've taken a look at the long range temperatures. I've got a video for that. It's right here. If you haven't checked it out, I'll see you there.